Hey everyone, my name is Matt Ball. I handle product marketing here for New Relic. This video is all about digital experience monitoring, which is a user-centric or a customer-focused approach to uptime and performance. We'll talk about two big use cases today, troubleshooting and optimizing. For troubleshooting, we'll talk about how visibility into the web browser and end users and across the network can help you find issues faster. For optimizing performance, we'll talk about how New Relic's come a long way to help benchmark and improve website performance and customer experience. So we'll start with troubleshooting. Here we are in New Relic 1. Here's the intro page. But the scenario is customers are receiving error messages when they're trying to check out, and that is a problem. So let's jump into the apps here. Let's jump into distributed tracing, which is an end-to-end view if you have tagged your front end, if you've tagged your website. Because I have tagged my website and I know my app name, I'll just add that in. And then we're sorting down by error message. That's not null. So right away we have a more fine-grained view. We know what we're looking for. So let's just jump into one of these traces. And right away we have a ton of information to sort through. We know the back-end time versus front-end time. We have a list of errors themselves. We have a list of entities or services that are associated with these traces. There are no anomalous spans. That's good in this case. But let's dig even further. Let's dig into an individual trace itself. And right away, we can sort through a bunch of error details. We can look at the error class, the error message. We have response times associated with this. And then, of course, just like everything in New Relic, you're always a click away from going deeper. We have logs right here. So we're going to jump into logs and we can zero in and get a lot more granular on the error itself. In this case, we're having an error validating the coupon. It's an internal server error. So right away, we have a ton of information going that is connected from the backend services to the end user. Now, another tool for troubleshooting is synthetics. So synthetic monitoring simulates end user requests by making HTTP calls. I'm jumping in here and I've already set up a monitor to verify my checkout flow is working. So I'm simulating the user pathway going from login to cart checkout. And I can see the health of that user pathway. I have success rate, I have checks failed or locations failing. Looks like we're doing well right here. But I have failures listed right at the top from each location. Also, I have access to the underlying applications that power these URLs and that power these endpoints. I can see right away that these services, within the plan service, for example, there's a warning violation in progress, and I can dig deeper into there in the event of a failure or an outage. But let's jump into a failure itself. This one from Paris, and within each failure, we see this one is just the check failed because of an assertion error. It was unable to locate the checkout button itself. So we're able to dig from a high level to a much more granular level to what the exact problem is while we are troubleshooting. Now let's stick with synthetics, but switch to talking about optimization. When you're thinking about optimization, you're going to want to work with two different types of data, lab data and field data. Lab data is typically from synthetic monitoring. You're running tests and monitors from typically the fastest connections with the best equipment. So it can give you a sense of how fast your pages should be performing. For field data, that's data from real users and how they experience your web pages. That's data from the many ways they enter your site on different web browsers, from different networks and ISPs, from a ton of different devices, both new and old, from different physical locations. So let's continue with synthetics and examine lab data first. So now let's talk lab data to help optimize. We've scripted out the entire user pathway from login to looking at phones, to looking at plans, adding a phone, and then going to that shopping cart. And we have access along the way to errors and to perceived performance metrics like first paint, first contentful paint, to show us how fast end users see content display. Ideally, when we're still in pre-production, we examine the performance of the entire path and we look to eliminate errors and slow performance. Also, we have access in every single URL, every single user hop. We have access to third-party resources. And we can sort these by average download time or average size. We see page resources and we see time spent by third parties. We have HTTP response codes. So again, synthetic data or lab data is very useful while you're still in pre-production to eliminate errors and improve performance to make sure you have successful launches and deployments. But let's look at real user monitoring data and data from our mobile applications. Let's look at real users coming in on websites in the mobile web and through our native apps. So let's look at some field data with our real user monitoring solution browser. And we're going to jump into an application we've tagged. And right away, at a glance, we have information on performance. We can sort by the median, the 50th percentile. We can sort by the slowest 5% of traffic or the 95th percentile. We have access to time spent in the front end versus the back end. And we see the full page load breakdown from the time to first byte, or how fast are our web servers delivering that content, to when our first pixels are appearing on our screen, the first contentful paint, when do users see that first bit of content displayed throughout that full page load. We see throughput, we see pages with JavaScript errors, and again, from there, we can dig through and go to distributed tracing, service maps, but let's go into page views so we can sort those pages. We can sort that information by URLs. Here are the top URLs and how they're performing. We can sort those by average response time, by median response time, but we can also sort by user agent or operating system. So you know how fast users are coming in from Chrome or from Firefox. Digging into session traces, you have all of the information on how your pages are loading. Let's go to the slowest loading pages. We're doing okay right now. But how fast are your individual page resources rendering? How fast are they appearing on screen? How fast is the backend time versus the full page load versus the DOM processing? Into AJAX errors, into JavaScript errors, where you can sort and group to really prioritize which are the most impactful errors that our users are seeing. You can sort by error message, by city, by domain. Let's look at error class. And then we have filterable geography. You can see performance makeup of users coming in from different attributes, different geographies, and then zoom in and filter and facet by different types. So now let's dig into my experience on native mobile apps. Let's jump in here to New Relic Mobile. And we'll choose our application. And right away, just like everything else with New Relic, I have information on performance, in this case with my native mobile app. I have information on crashes. I have information on HTTP errors and network failures. I have information on app launches, and I have information on response time. And as I scroll down, I can dig in deeper. But ultimately with my native mobile app, I want to understand, is it broken and is it slow? So we'll dig into specific crashes here with some crash analysis. And what we can do here is begin to filter things that matter to our business. In this case, we'll go with our app name. So for this particular app, we have information on group by crash location, on the total number of crashes, the crash rate, we have crash-free users and top crash locations, all at our fingertips. We can go into handled exceptions here, and we have some great information on users affected, sessions affected, and top exception locations. But the best thing about New Relic is the data that you collect. So let's use dashboards to bring our lab and field data to life. First, let's make some dashboards with our RUM data. Here we have all of the key metrics to monitor. We have a wealth of perceived performance metrics like first paint, first contentful paint. We have largest contentful paint, letting you know when was your marquee images, when were your marquee videos, when did they render and display. We have first input delay, or how long from when a user clicked a button till the browser actually activated that request. So you can then ask questions to your data. This dashboard here is helping us understand how soon after visual content starts to load or render do users then engage. This one down here, how are my users engaging? We collect metrics like pointer down, click, and key down. All of those first interaction types we collect. You can dashboard customer patterns for interaction times. Essentially, you can bring to life your perceived performance metrics, your data, and your entire page load experience so you know what to optimize. Let's jump into mobile. And we're going to go into the mobile app experience itself. And again, we capture a ton of information that you can then bring to life. Here we have mobile sessions. We have unique mobile users, number of screen viewed per category. We have a funnel here at the right. There's mobile sessions by version. Again, you can bring your data to life by using our dashboarding capabilities. Let's jump into the business data itself. And you can do some great things. You can set up conversion funnels. You can have average cart value by week. There's no data there. But you have some pretty impactful things like the correlation between page load time on conversion rate. You can map that out right front and center. You can understand end user performance. How many of my users are frustrated versus just tolerating versus satisfied? You can look at purchases at risk. You can plot those out. Finally, because New Relic is programmable, I can make New Relic data meaningful to me by creating applications. I can take customer data and understand how their experience results in them taking action. Here, I'm seeing satisfied, unsatisfied, and just tolerating users. I see bounce rate, I see session length, I see pages per session, all against speed and performance. We can understand how much our site gains by performance improvements by moving users from unsatisfied to happy. To help take immediate action, we show you where to start. We list out improvement opportunities and show you which URLs to start with by traffic size and biggest optimization opportunities. You can do more with New Relic. Talk to your support person about how you can use New Relic on your websites, endpoints, and mobile apps today.